Hello, welcome to Stampin' with Jilly. Hope you're doing well today. I have a project to share with you. I saw on Paula Dobson Stampin' Antics website, and what she did, and thanks for sharing, Paula. What she did was she colored the ornate style bouquet. But first she stamped it in a really light neutral color. I've seen people do it in slate or a pool party or just a color that once you fill in the bouquet with coloring, however you choose to color, the line art goes away and all you can see is the bouquet as if you had painted it. And I've seen it quite a few times and always wanted to do it. And then when I saw Paula's, I thought, that's really pretty. And hey, it perfectly fits into my Ornate Garden Stampin' Frenzy here, where I keep on making different samples, and it's very different than all the other samples. So here is my finished card. And on this, I use granite gray for the line art, and yeah, you could still see the line art. And so I thought, well, let me try stamping it where I stamp off and then stamp the bouquet and then color it in, and to see if I could truly do the no line image and then color it in. This is probably one of the first times you'll hear me say I lost faith in my stamp room. I got disappointed. I'll show you what came out. But before I show it to you, when I came in this morning to do the video, okay, I do like it more than I did last night. Last night I was defeated. So here it is, and I left the greeting off. So when you look at it from here, at first glance, it's really pretty. I wasn't happy. I guess I need a line to color within. Otherwise, I don't know, it's hard. And so the parts that I don't care for this too much here, and I don't like this leaf. So I think this will perfectly go over the top. I do like this daisy though. So maybe I'll try to show some of it. So I think in the long run, it's going to be okay. And like I said, when I came in this morning, it is pretty from a distance, or maybe because I didn't have my glasses on, or because it was a little bit far away, but I do like it a little bit better now. And I did a little bit on the inside. And on this one, just because it took so long to color all this, I did a little bit on the inside too, trying to use the same colors. So, what do you think? Should we get started? Make this card? I used the Ornate Style stamp set, particularly for the bouquet. On the bottom, on the inside, I use this little flower here. And this, it's a whole bunch of flowers and leaves. I tried to use that, but to this point, I'm not getting how to use it yet. I'm sure that I'll see something on online where people use it very creatively. You know what, do I have? I think I have a sample of what not to do. Yeah. So I tried to put it at the bottom of the card. I didn't like it. So I like the little flowers. I like the little leaves. I'm just not quite sure what to do with it yet. And for the words, once again, amazing set. On the outside, there's the thanks. And then from the bottom of my heart. And you could do whatever words you like. Okay, so here's a sample. This one I'll set off to the side because I'm still a little grumpy and mad at it. So here's the products. So let's start out by folding the card base in half. And I'll list all the blends on my blog that I used for coloring it. And I pretty much copied Paula's. Like she said, it's different than colors that she would normally choose. Not really realistic, but she liked how it came out. I certainly liked how it came out. So I took most of her colors. I added in just a few colors, but otherwise I used all the same stuff that she has. Okay, so this is for the inside. I'll do that in a minute. This is for the bouquet. So let's see, do I have? I'll show you what it looks like, and it's done in granite gray. So for this project, there's 3 stamp colors: Pretty Peacock, Petal Pink, and Granite Gray. And because I've already experimented, I know that I'm going to use the full strength Granite Gray for the line art, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's stamped off. And for those of you that like coloring, that's great. But I know by the end of a project, you're like, okay, I've had enough coloring. This takes it one step further where you might say I've had enough coloring, but to stamp it without seeing much of a line, you know what, I shouldn't be deterring you from it. I'd love to see how you do when you give this a try. Okay, so that's full strength. Woohoo, pretty. Definitely will see the line art. And then second strength, which is what I tried on the card that disappointed me. And I want you to tell me, would you be able to color in this image? Okay, full strength, woohoo, no problem. Hence this, great. Second strength, ooh, it's really light, but it's possible. I still see it on there. And that is what this one is. Okay, when I look at this now, I do like it a little bit better. Okay, I will be coloring in this side. After you color it in, you cut it with your snips. And you get this. Pretty. This one I did it like Paula did it, where she used navy blue and balmy blue to color in the flowers. And then these daisies were done in coral and petal pink. And I did this one just a little bit different, just because. I'm not too sure about these dark flowers, but that's a perfect place for that banner to go. Okay, so here's the card. We're missing stuff, missing words. I could easily do that. Let's do the words. So that's done in Pretty Peacock. I really like that color. I'm going to stamp it close to the bottom so I don't have too much to trim, hopefully. If I stamp it really straight, I don't even have to trim the bottom. Look at that. Okay. And with my little paper cutter, I'll trim it. And it'll look just like this. Okay. We're still missing the frame. The frame is done using petal pink and a sponge. And when Paula did it, she said she used Post-it notes to block off the edge. And I don't know if I could get them straight. And so I made a mask. So let's do this sponging. Here's a sponging template I made. So I made it to fit the exact same size. And one note of caution, if you are sponging and it's just a little bit smaller, which happens, if you were sponging, you'd get a petal pink little strip of color. You don't want that. So I'll start sponging here because I know that the vanilla paper is completely covered. And then I'll shift the template a little bit. So for this one, when I sponged it, the color was dark, which is fine. And, oh, this one I got fancy. Let me show you. I did it in all four corners, which I kind of like, and I purposely did it really light. So we'll see what this one comes out like. Get it right there in the corner. So to do the sponging, if I go down directly onto the paper here, it's going to be freckled. I don't like freckled. So I'm going to maybe take a little bit of the ink off. It's fully loaded. The sponge is loaded with ink. And then I'm just going to do little circles after some of the ink is taken off, just trying to avoid the sponge texture freckle thing. Okay, so there's one corner. Should I try all four? There's another corner. Okay, now this corner, I could see a bit of the vanilla showing through, so I'm just going to shift my template. And I probably need more ink, but because I don't want the little sponge marks, I'm procrastinating a bit. Okay, I need more ink. Get the sponge marks off. I guess it's just getting the ink off of the little very outside tips of the sponge, the texture. Does that make sense? Us stampers, we have our own language, huh? Okay, so this one I did all 4 corners. That's pretty. I do like the original way, where it's diagonal and bigger amounts of sponging. But because the bouquet is going to be the focus, I think it's okay like this too. Okay, so the sponging is done. And for the inside, I'm going to stamp in, once again, granite gray, and then color in the flowers. I'm wondering when I should jump ahead here. I have stuff ready. So on the inside, I have some words sitting out. Here they are. And that's going to be stamped in Pretty Peacock. And then I'll stamp on the outside the thanks. You're amazing. Stamp, hold it, little pressure. Perfection. Okay, and now I'm going to stamp the thanks on here. And hope I don't mess up. If you do mess up, I'll show you what you can do. I'm going to stamp it a little bit high. Hold it. Perfect. Okay, so say you messed up, such as there's a little freckle in here or it's crooked. What you do is take your card. Let me close this up. I'm stalling here for just a minute. And fold it like this. Do your sponging on here. You're like, what about that? That's going to be covered up. But don't have to do that because it's turned out perfectly. Okay, and then with this in granite ink, I'm going to stamp all kinds of little flowers. Sometimes I want the leaves to show, other times I just want flowers. Little there, a little here. Okay, so here I am coloring them. You hear coloring? And I'm going to kind of outline them in a light color. So that will go on to here and into here. So here, Magic of TV. There it is, all done. And this one, I put a little bit of Pool Party light around the outside edge to make the flowers stand out. On these, I used Petal Pink light around the edge. And this one I used Petal Pink. I don't think you could do any wrong. Okay, so let's put this into here. You notice this card doesn't have any embossing. It has no bling. It's very different, but I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, inside is done. And now that these flowers are all colored, I'll put those on using dimensionals. So today our plan is to go out to a home improvement store and get some plants, spin the plant for a little while, and then plant them tomorrow, hopefully. But I keep on hearing reports that if you want to get into the stores, the line is out the door, around the corner, and you're standing out there for an hour just to get into the store because they're letting in so many people, which is understandable. And if that's the case, then we'll just skip it and do grocery store shopping, maybe a little coffee drive-through, not saying any particular brand, Dutch. Doesn't it sound like a nice day? And Honey is thinking, hey, let's go out on a date and let's have lunch. So we'll get lunch to go and eat it in the car. What more could a girl want? I don't like these flowers. I do like these. I do like that. From the bottom of my heart thinks it should be lower at the bottom. I really want to cover up those blue flowers. It has to be in the middle, but I really like this. It's hard to be me. How about that? I'm not covering up the flowers. If they keep bugging me, I'm just going to cut it out of a piece of scrap and put it right over the top. Okay, here and there. That's it. Is this the quickest one we've ever done? I think so. Okay. Oh. Guess what came in the mail? Guess what tomorrow's video is? Paper pumpkin. Do I open it? So, for all of you that subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, pull them out and let's do it together. And if you don't subscribe, you should, because imagine getting this. It's like a gift in the mail. Every month, and we could do it together. Okay, this one is called My Wonderful Family. And it is a set that has a tree. Okay, we'll look at this when we do it. Oh, and the spot is Pear Pizzazz. Okay, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.